So, just in case you live underneath a rock, one of, if not the, most popular Marvel rival streamers was called out today because of how he titled his stream. Bunny Monty, I apologize if I pronounced that incorrectly. So, Necros, why are we doing this? And it shows Necros' stream title that says, @Grok, turn her around and remove her cape. They also go on to say, literally not even trying to start drama, genuinely curious on whether this guy understands the trust issues that this Grok stuff has on myself and thousands of other women and children. It's likely he's done this for engagement, and in turn I've essentially just given what he wants, but having to rely on this stuff like this is not. While I do think what he said was a joke and definitely a reference to the new Lady Loki skin that came out in Marvel Rivals, I can also see why people took offense to what he said. Don't get me wrong, I definitely think X or Twitter, whatever you guys want to call it, is a cesspool of weirdos, but this AI stuff definitely opens up a huge can of worms that, unfortunately, we're gonna talk about right now. Let me make this perfectly clear, no one should have risque or inappropriate photos or videos made of you without your consent. In my opinion, that's both insulting and infuriating. This is definitely not the same situation, but I actually had a friend, well, a former friend, who made a video, an AI video of me twerking, and I took offense to that, told him to delete it, he didn't, so now we're not friends anymore. So I can understand why people like Bunny Monty, once again, I apologize if I said their name incorrectly, were offended. Now, after this tweet was made, Imperator, one of Necros' friends, who I've actually beaten in a game once, we're not here to talk about me, responded with this tweet. Instead of reaching out to people that work at XCI or Twitter and using your reach to contact someone that has influence on Grok, you decide to show a streamer making a joke with the new Loki skin and put him in a bad spotlight without asking said streamer for context. Necros is a kind person who does not deserve the hate raids he is receiving now because of your mindless tweet. You are using your platform for harm and you want to farm engagement from it for whatever content you put out. Be better. Bunny Monty quickly claps back and says, "Oh, I'm using my platform for harm. Have you thought about how this has caused me harm? I'm a victim in all of this. I have been in contact with people with influence, including the police and journalists. You don't know what I've been doing behind the scenes." Bunny Monty says in another comment, "The last few days, I have been dealing with an incredible amount of Grok BS, including fully deepfakes of me without clothes on. I think I'm allowed to call out big influencers who are using jokes that aren't even funny while there are more women and children currently suffering. Do better." Also, let's not pull the using my platform for harm BS when you know very well Necros has a bigger platform than myself. I currently average 40 viewers, and he is on like 4K. Don't act stupid. While I agree with both sides of the argument, I do think it is a bit strange why they are calling out Necros specifically for the whole Grok thing, like he is the one creating those inappropriate images. But in the same breath, it's also really hard to get the police involved because of how easy it is to be anonymous on the internet and how popular, unfortunately, using Grok for terrible things is. Bunny Money also went on to say, influencers influence people. He might not have actually done it, but others will definitely see that and think, oh wow, my favorite influencer is joking about it, that means it's okay. They also went on to say he is a Marvel rival streamer. He is not in my community, and I am so glad. Bunny Monty is very correct. Influencers have power whether they like it or not, and I actually just watched a South Park episode last night about how Cartman became an influencer and he was influencing Ike and Kyle was not having it. So even if your intentions are good, what you say and what you do matters as an influencer. And I'm actually of both communities. I started with Overwatch. I play Marvel Rivals a lot more than Overwatch, and Necros was a pretty small streamer when he was in Overwatch, and now he's, like I said earlier, one of, if not the biggest Marvel Rivals streamers. You know, we can joke all we want, but being an influencer, especially with like an actual big following, it's not easy. But in the same breath, if Bunny Monty is quote-unquote not in the same community as Necros anymore, then why does it matter what he titles his stream? Why are you hate watching? Don't get me wrong, I get what you're going through is terrible and not fair to you as a person, but Necros has nothing to do with this, and this time next week, we will have all forgotten about this. Maybe I'm just overthinking this, but if you are so concerned about not starting or causing drama, like you said in your initial tweet, then why even make the tweet at all? However, Necros, to his credit, was very quick to explain himself after dealing with the fallout of that drama during most of his stream. He says, "Yo, I'll be completely real. I did not know the sort of malicious stuff Grok was used to do. My only experience with it was seeing OF girls use it to edit their pictures and promote their stuff. So that's what this title was in reference to. Just want you guys to know I do not endorse this stuff. People jump to conclusions way too quickly.
But OnlyFans Twitter girls are women using it with their consent, anything else is not. I understand that, but that's what my title is a joke to. It's literally a joke making fun of this trend. I don't understand how people like think that this means that I like support it when I'm literally condemning it. I'm making fun of this stupid trend. I think it's stupid. Of course I don't endorse people using Grok to make people have pictures of themselves without their consent. You know what I mean? Like these weird pictures. Of course not. Obviously, that is like ludicrous to say that I think that that's okay. But I don't see how my title implies that. It's just making fun of the trend. I really don't get it. I want to understand, but I don't get it. I knew you were memeing with the title. Like, this wasn't even a problem. My chat didn't even fucking, like, this shit, you only know if you're, like, chronically online on Twitter. Half the people didn't even understand. When I booted my stream, some people did, but they were like, at Grok, can you oil up Necros? And I found that shit funny. And now, this tweet's been made, and everyone's like, oh my god, bro, you got it, shit. That shit's gotta go. Blame Elon? Yeah, why am I getting blamed? Yo, like, doesn't it make sense to blame the people that are using Grok for this sort of like malicious shit?
Don't get me wrong, I am chronically online, and even I didn't know they were using Grok to make terrible or risque or inappropriate photos of women and children. Though I don't really use X that much. I mean, I use it to gather all this info, but just in my general day-to-day life, I really don't use X that much. I don't really like the platform. So I can kind of understand Necros not realizing the controversy behind Grok and AI usage. However, I'm sure I'm not alone in this, but people need to be punished for using AI for inappropriate uses. And I know the freedom crowd, the people that really enjoy their freedom, you know exactly who I'm talking about. They're not going to like this, but I've got a couple of ideas. I'm going to precursor this with, I am just a guy who plays video games. My opinion should not be fact. My first suggestion is applications like OpenAI, Grok, or ChatGPT should only be used to answer questions. It should not be used to create anything, in my opinion. My second suggestion, and you guys probably aren't going to like this one, but I'm gonna say it anyway, is that I think social media should have some sort of legal identification tied to it. So if you're going to have social media, you need to have your driver's license or social security or some sort of legal identifier that says you are who you say you are. I know people aren't going to like that because that would mean you can't really be anonymous on the internet. However, if you're going to use AI applications like Grok or ChatGPT or whatever to create terrible photos of people without their consent, you need to be punished for that. Honestly, one of the only solutions to not being affected by AI is just to leave the internet, which I don't think is fair to people. Do I think AI will ever have some sort of law attached to it? No, but I would certainly love that because I've been an AI hater from day one. I hope people like Bunny Monty and anyone else that has been affected by the bad uses of AI are able to find peace. But in the same breath, I also learned something from all this. You know, what is a harmless joke to you might not be harmless to somebody else. The internet is basically something everyone uses, so let's try to make it a safe place for everyone that decides to use it. If you watched the whole video, I appreciate you listening to my yap sesh. Thank you for watching. Have a very blessed evening. Peace!
Thanks for the boost. Down to 30 seconds. Next time, stick to punching dragons, Iron Fist. The final 10 seconds. Stay away from
Beholds the god of thunder!